For 50 years, there have been persistent questions about this case. What happened in the missing frames of the Zapruder film? What evidence might they hold? And did Oswald really act alone? In the late 1990s, the FBI tested some microscopic evidence discovered on one of the recovered bullet fragments. But suddenly, that testing stopped.
I saw his head practically open up, all blood and everything, and I kept on shooting. I'm just sick.
I think that pretty well expresses the entire feelings of the whole world.
This is a very strange sensation being up here with a camera identical to what Zapruder used.
We asked Gary Mack to stand where Abraham Zapruder shot his 26-second film.
Then when Kennedy's limousine appeared, he followed the car staying in the center lane, and then shots started being fired. And how he was able to keep filming, I don't know.
Kodak developed his 8mm film. Copies went to the Secret Service. He sold the original to Life magazine for $150,000.
It's the only complete film of the assassination known to exist.
But Life technicians accidentally destroyed frames 208 to 211.
4 frames were damaged to the point that they could not be reinserted into the film. Where you see President Kennedy's head literally explode, that takes about 4 frames also. So clearly, a lot can happen in those missing frames.
The Warren Commission thought Kennedy was first shot between frames 210 and 225.
You can see Kennedy, who was wounded, and Connally reacting, but not necessarily at the same point in time.
Rarely seen by researchers, we located a Secret Service copy of the film and 35mm enlargements of the missing frames at NARA.
The 4 missing frames have been extremely hard to come by over the years.
These missing frames allow us to see what experts refer to as the jiggle effect. It's when Zapruder flinched at the sound of the gunshots. A scientist developed a formula for his flinching at 5 frames.
The first shot that hit the president's back hit at 2:04. And so these are frames that are a split second after that.
The missing frames indicate a strong jiggle effect at 2:09. Orr believes it helps confirm the first shot by Oswald at 2:04.
His first shot was aiming for the president's head. He missed it by more than a foot down low.
Hours later, 5 bullet fragments were recovered from inside the limousine. This FBI diagram confirms a cracked windshield and a dented chrome bar.
That fragment that was found on the front seat of the limousine went through the president's back, deflected upward, exited his neck, and hit the chrome strip above the windshield.
At the National Archives, Orr examined the bullet fragment that the government said caused the fatal head wound. He spotted some trace evidence still attached to it and wrote his own gunshot analysis.
The Justice Department originally recommended that I be basically detached from my regular job with the Antitrust Division to work with the FBI in setting up this test and helping them carry it out.
If Orr's analysis proved correct, it would destroy the single bullet theory and scientifically confirmed a 2-gunman theory.
The FBI objected because I was not impartial.
The National Archives turned to a unique expert to test Orr's discovery.
The National Archives had discovered that there were fragments of material on the bullet that killed President Kennedy.
Dr. Michael Zimmerman is a pathologist whose specialty is the study of ancient mummies.
I was called in on this case because these fragments have become dried out and mummified. They're all maybe 2 or 3 millimeters in greatest dimension, and I thought that it would be worthwhile to rehydrate them for microscopic examination.
And Zimmerman found something remarkable.
This is human skin and some muscle tissue. It could be literally from anywhere in the body.
While technology still can't determine what part of the body the skin came from, new sophisticated DNA tests can match it to the blood in Kennedy's clothing. This was one of the critical tests that was never completed.
Could that tissue come from the scalp of the president?
I didn't find any hair.
Could it come from the wrist of the governor?
There's never anything wrong with investigating things, again, and the positive result can lead you someplace else.
There are things that some of the top DNA testing laboratories are doing today that were not available 20 and 15 years ago. So you're talking about key evidence that absolutely should be reevaluated at this time. DNA, remember, has no temporal death. Testing could be done.
We showed Dr. Zimmerman a 1996 FBI memo to the Justice Department generated by John Orr's request. It suggested a battery of tests, including fiber analysis.
all of these other tests, and I don't think they were actually ordered by the FBI, at least not from my reading of the report.
We asked the FBI for a comment about the test, and they responded. It would not be appropriate for the FBI to revisit the results of forensic exams conducted on the JFK assassination evidence in 1998. Further, the FBI has no additional information to contribute to the material already included in the NARA release.
I expected all of that material to be tested, to be scientifically analyzed to determine if they could isolate what those white cotton fibers were, what the other apparent miscellaneous fibers were, what the little black speck was, and they weren't, according to their own report.
Our investigation also found this bullet worksheet admitted from the HSCA's final report in 1979. It again refers to the same fibrous material on the same fragment and recommended further analysis.
So, in 2013, the level of testing that we have now is so further advanced than we've ever had. Would you be opposed to further testing?
No, I would not be opposed to further testing at all, and be interesting to see what the findings are. It's not just the skin, but also the muscle tissue on the slide. Those fragments of tissue can yield very useful DNA.
They found small black particles that they suggested was ammunition residue, but made no effort to confirm that. Why not complete that testing?
I agree what you say, a lot can be learned. I don't think anything that's going to be learned is going to satisfy all the different conspiracy theorists.
Congress passed the JFK Act in 1992 so that Americans could have access to some 5 million government pages. It also requires all assassination records to go public by the year 2017, unless they jeopardize national security. From the Newseum in Washington, D.C., thanks for watching. I'm Bill Hemmer.